Peace, my family, and we're all back to all. And those coming out of that good cocoon for the first time, welcome. This is your girl, the butterfly, and we about to take off. Let's fly. Just want to send you all like a healing energy your way. Peace, love, happiness, harmony, and abundance. Hope you guys are out there keeping your mind right in that good mind. How y'all feeling today? Hope you guys are out there feeling good and most definitely moving on up in your higher natures and cleansing. Say what? Cleansing the lows. I came on here today to express and share another clip from our master teacher's book called the Elis Holy Injiyl, the Book of Revelations, and it continues. This right here will certainly help you on this good journey within. So, with that being said, let's get started. Alright now. So it reads, chapter 6. John envisions the appearance of one of the world empires. This marked the opening of the 7 seals. The opening of the first seal, the white horse, symbolic of the Babylonian Empire. Goodness. Let me repeat this one more time. The opening of the first seal, the white horse, symbolic of the Babylonian Empire. And it reads, and I, the news bearer, looked as Tammuz Ha-Korafuf, the Lamb, the Messiah Jesus, was opening one of the 7 stamps, and what is contained, and it reads again, and I looked as the Korafuf Lamb was opening. In this seal is made clear from the beginning to the end, and I heard a roar, a sound like a lion, like thunder, one of the 4 living creatures saying, come and see it. And then it reads again, one of the 7 stamps, and I heard a roar, like thunder, one of the 4 living creatures saying, come and see it. And it reads, and I, Yukiana, Bar Zebedee, John, looked as the Lamb, Yahshua HaMashgiach, was opening one of the 7 stamps, and what is contained in this seal is made clear from beginning to end. Yuliana, John, Bar Zebedee, heard a roar, a sound like a lion, like thunder, one of the 4 living creatures saying, come and see it. And it reads, and I saw when the Lamb opened one of the seals, and I heard it were the noise of thunder, one of the 4 beasts saying, come and see. And it reads, and I, the news bearer John, son of Zebedee, looked as the Lamb, the Messiah Jesus, was opening one of the 7 stamps, and what it contained in this seal is made clear from beginning Els Suaf to end Els Quran. And I, the news bearer John, Yukiana, son of Zebedee, heard a roar, a sound like a lion, because of its courageous and fearlessness, like thunder, which signaled the appearance of Babylon, one of the 4 living creatures of the 4 world empires, which appeared to be riding on horses, who would conquer and hold control over a great part of the earth, having numerous power, saying, come and see it. This empire is ancient Babylon, the first major civilization. Babylon, the capital of this empire, was founded by Nimrod, the mighty warrior, son of Cush, and the great grandson of Unifishtim Noah. Babylon is also called Shinar, flat, plains, Hammurabi, or Hammurabi, was also a ruler of Babylon from 1800 through 1500 BC. He was responsible for a highly centralized government using a body of laws called the Code of Hammurabi, or Hammurabi, which is the oldest surviving set of laws known to mankind. The Code of Hammurabi, or Hammurabi, are inscribed on a polished black diatrite stele, or a pillar, stands 7.5 feet tall in the Akkadian cuneiform script. It is the largest cuneiform document ever discovered, and it is now located in the Louvre in Paris. And the second age of Babylon was under the rule of Nebuchadnezzar II, from 605 through 562 BC. And this goes into verse 2, and it reads, "Then I looked, and there was a white horse." And it says again, "Then I looked, and it says, and I looked, that will bring the burdens upon the planet Earth." So it just stops right there, right? So it says, and that will bring the burdens upon the planet Earth. He, Nimrod, rode out as a conqueror of conquerors. There was a white horse. His horse held a bow, and he was given a crown, and he rode out as a conqueror of conquerors. And then I, the news bearer, Yohanan, John, Bar Zebedee, looked, and there was a white horse, a cherubim that will bring the burdens or events destined to fall upon the planet Earth, rode out as a conqueror of conquerors. And it reads, "And I saw and behold a white horse, and he that sat on had a bow, and a crown was given unto him, and he went forth conquering and to conquer." And it reads again, "Then I, the news bearer, John, son of Zebedee, looked, and there was a white horse, a cherubim, those who are close or nearest, that will bring the burdens or events destined to fall upon the planet Earth, being white, symbolizing the weakness of the Caucasian, the Canaanites. He, Nimrod, carried a bow, indicating that he was a hunter, rode out as a conqueror of conquerors, for he wanted to rule the whole world." And it reads, "The opening of the second seal, the red horse, symbolic of the Greek Empire." And it reads, alright, and it reads, "And when the Arnon crystals opened the second stamp, I heard the second living creature, a calf, say, "Come and see." And again it says, when he, Isa, had opened the seventh stamp, I, Injiyl, John, heard the second living creature say, "Come and see it." Then it reads again, and when he, the Lamb, Yahshua HaMishka, opened up the second stamp, and I, the newsbearer, Injiyl Bar Zebi, heard the second living creature, a calf symbolic of ancient Greece, say, "Come and see it." And when he had opened the seventh seal, I heard the second beast say, "Come and see." And when the Lamb Tammuz, the Messiah Jesus, opened the second stamp, and what it contained in the seal is made clear from beginning El's Zwaf to end El's Quran. And it goes and says, the newsbearer John, son of Zebedee, heard the second living creature, a calf called Master, with a aggressive nature, symbolic of ancient Greece, say, "Come and see it." Greece was a lesser kingdom which prevailed after Nebuchadnezzar, if I'm pronouncing that right, Nebuchadnezzar, Babylon, and the Persian Empire, which is called Iraq today, was in part responsible for the existence of the kingdom of Greece. Because of existing tension and burdens within its kingdom, this great empire became weak, consequently separating it into a lower kingdom, or lesser kingdoms, into lesser kingdoms. This division produced even lesser kingdoms, which later became territories of the Greek Empire. Thus, this kingdom being presented by a calf explains the nature of its rising from a split, occurring in a preceding empire, therefore being considered inferior because it could not compare to the Babylonian Empire in power, strength, and glory. Verse 4. And it reads, and then another horse rode forth, which was red, and was given to him that sat on it, to take peace from planet Earth, so that they could kill one another. And there was given unto him a great sword. And it reads again, and another horse rode forth, which was red, and its rider was given the power to remove peace from the planet Earth, teaching human beings to kill each other. And he gave, or was given, a supreme sword. And it reads, and then another horse rode forth, which was red, which tells how ancient Greece came into power. It symbolizes bloodshed and death, and he invaded Babylon, defeating a Persian and a Persian cavalry, all with his sword. And it reads again, and there went out another horse that was red, and power was given to him that sat therein to take peace from the earth, and that they should kill one another. And there was given to him a great sword. And it reads, and then another horse went forth, which was red, which tells how ancient Greece came into power. It symbolizes bloodshed and death, Alexander the Great invaded Babylon, defeating a Persian cavalry of all his sword. Alexander the Great, the king of Macedonia, was the ruler of this ancient kingdom north of Greece. Alexander the Great conquered more territories than his predecessor and his predecessor Cyrus. Let me repeat that. Predecessor Cyrus. It doesn't say ancient. Alexander the Great spread Greek civilizations throughout Asia and Egypt. So let me repeat that one more time. Alexander the Great invaded Babylon, defeating a Persian cavalry of all with his sword. Alexander the Great, the king of Macedonia, was the ruler of the ancient kingdom north of Greece. Alexander the Great conquered more territories than his predecessor Cyrus. Alexander the Great spread Greece. Alexander the Great spread Greek civilizations throughout Asia and Egypt. And it reached again the opening of the third seal, which was a black horse, symbolic of the Roman Empire. And it reads, and when the Aaron of the, and then it goes on to say, and when he opened the third stamp, I heard the third Pesos open the third stamp, and I heard the third living creature with the face of Satis in the form of a male living being, saying, "Come and see it." And there was a black horse, and its rider had with him a scale used for measuring in his right hand. And it reads again, living creatures say, "Come and see it." And there was a black horse, and its rider had with him a scale in his right hand. And it reads again, and when the Lamb, Yahshua Mishka, opened the third stamp, and I, the newsbearer, John, son of Zebedee, or Elkanah Bar Zebedee, Elkanah Bar Zebedee. So the newsbearer, Elkanah Bar Zebedee, heard the third living creature with the face of an Satan in the form of a male living being, saying, "Come and see it." And there was a black horse, and its rider had with him a scale used for measuring in his right hand. And it reads again, and when he had opened the third seal, I heard the third beast say, "Come and see it." And I beheld, and lo, a black horse, and he that sat on him, had a pair of balances in his hand. And it reads, and when Tammuz, the Messiah Jesus, opened the third seal, and what it contained in the seal is made clear from the beginning, elsewhere, and to the end, else Holy Quran. The stamp I, the newsbearer John, son of Zebedee, heard the third living creature with the face of Satan, who is also called Zuin, the evil one, the reptilian, Jakar, or Turnus, or Satan's, in the form of a male living being, symbolic of the Roman Empire, saying, "Come and see it." And there was a black horse, which represented the conflict between Rome and the Nubians of Carthaginian, whose most illustrative leader and warrior was Hannibal, son of Hamilcar and Barza, and its rider Sargus Julius Caesar. Julius Caesar had with him a scale which was the Roman Empire's numbering system used for measuring his right hand. So it reads, and I heard the voice of a lamb in the middle of the four living creatures, saying, "Measure of what from a denier, and don't hurt the oil, and don't hurt the toxins. And I heard a voice in the middle of the four living creatures say, a measure of what, or measure of wheat from a denier, and don't hurt the oil, and don't hurt the intoxins. And it reads again, as I, newsbearer John, son of Zebedee, heard the voice of the Lamb, Yahshua Mishka, in the middle of the four living creatures, saying, a measure of wheat for a denier, and don't hurt the oil, and don't hurt the intoxins. And it says again, and I heard the voice in the midst of the four beasts say, a measure of wheat for a penny, and 3 measures of barley for a penny, and see thou hurt not the oil and the wine. And it reads again, and I, newsbearer John, son of Zebedee, heard the voice of the Lamb, Tammuz, the Messiah Jesus, in the middle of the four living creatures, saying, a measure of wheat for a penny, giving the nation of people what they earn, and don't touch the oil, and don't touch the intoxicants most frequently drunk by Romans. And then it reads, the opening of the fourth seal, which is the pale horse, symbolic of the new Babylonian Empire. And it reads, and when the Lamb Yahshua HaMishka opened the fourth stamp, and I heard the voice of the fourth living creature say, come and see it. And when he had opened the fourth stamp, and I heard John, Yuhana, heard the voice of the fourth living creature say, come and see it. And when he had opened the fourth stamp, I, Yukiana Bar Zebi, heard the voice of the four living beast creature saying, come and see it. And when he had opened the fourth seal, I heard the voice of the fourth beast say, come and see. And when the Lamb Tammuz, the Messiah Jesus, opened the fourth stamp, and what is contained in the seal is made clear from the beginning, El Swab, and to the end, the Quran. And I, the newsbearer John, son of Zebedee, and Solomon, heard the voice of the fourth living creature and the eagle, symbolic of USA, the new Babylon, saying, come and see it. And then I looked, and there was a pale horse, and its rider was named Death, and Hell, and the followers near behind. These nations killed by the way of the sword, and wars, and hunger, and famine, and with the death of the disease, and with the beasts of the planet Earth. And then it reads, and I looked, and there was a pale horse. Its rider was named Death, and Hell, followers near behind, and power was given unto him over 1/4 of the whole planet Earth, to kill by the way of the swords, and hunger, with death, and with the beasts of the earth. And then it reads, and I, the newsbearer Yukihana Bar Zebedee, looked, and there was a pale horse, and its rider named Death, and Hell, followers near behind, and they killed by the way of the swords, and wars, and hunger, and famine, and with the death by diseases, and with the beast of the planet Earth. And it reads again, and I looked, and behold, a pale horse, and his name set on him was Death, and Hell followed with him, and the power was given into him over the 4th part of the planet Earth, to kill with sword, and with hunger, and with death, and with the beasts of the earth. And it reads again, and I, the newsbearer John, son of Zebedee, looked, and there was a pale horse, a pale yellow, colorless complexion, symbolic of weakness and dying, an empire that will collapse, and never rise again. Its rider, the presidents or leaders, and the many governors and ambassadors, and military and police, and military and senators, or all representing the corruption and destruction, was named Death, because they are killers in many fashions of all kinds of living creatures in Hades, which Hell follows near behind. For after this last empire, America falls, only Hell follows, and these nations killed by the way of the sword, in the wars and hunger and famine, with the death by diseases, and with the yeast of the planet Earth. And it reads again. And when he opened the fifth step, I saw under the altar the souls of those who had been slain for the word Theos, and for the witness of which they held. And it reads again. And when he opened the fourth stamp, Yukiana, saw under the altar the souls of them that were killed for the word of Allah, and for the witness of which they held. And then it reads again. And when he opened the fifth stamp, Yukiana Bar Zebedee, saw under the altar the Ruka of those who had been slain for the word and for the witness which they held. And it reads again. And when he had opened the fifth seal, and I saw under the altar souls of them that were slain for the word of God and for the testament which they held. And then it reads again. And when the Lamb, the Messiah Tammuz, meaning the sprout of life, the sprout forth as a faithful son, opened the fifth stamp, and it was contained in this seal, is made clear from the beginning El Swaf into the end, the Quran. And I, the news bearer John, son of Zebedee, saw under the altar used for sacrifice the souls of those who had successfully passed on into the next life, and for the witness of which they held, because they died bearing witness to the truth of the righteous news bearers of Elis, who came proclaiming, and for believing in Yahshua, Elis, as the Messiah, and having faith that he would return. And it reads again. And they cried with a loud voice, saying, How long? How long, Holy One, and the one who is a fact beyond any doubt, will it be until you pass judgment and bring judgment and avenge and punish them for shedding our blood, those who live on planet Earth. And it reads again. And they cried with a loud voice, saying, How long, O Rab, Holy One, and the one who is a fact beyond any doubt, will it be until the past judgment and avenge shedding our blood on those who live on planet Earth? And it reads again. And then they cried with a loud voice, saying, How long, O Rab? How long, O Adonai, the Holy One, and the one who is a fact beyond any doubt, will be until you pass judgment and bring judgment and avenge and punish them for shedding our blood, those who live on planet Earth. And it reads again. And they cried with a loud voice, saying, How long, O Lord, holy and true, dost thou not judge and avenge our blood on them that dwell on planet Earth? And it reads again. And the righteous of all time cried with a loud voice, saying, How long, O Adonai, Lord, Master, Holy One, the Most High, Eli, and the one who is a fact beyond any doubt, will it be until the past judgment and bring Satan, Hela, the evil one, the reptilian, Nakash, and the Canaanites in the flesh, to judge and avenge and punish them for shedding our blood, for killing us, who's those Canaanites who live on planet Earth and kills the righteous just because they are righteous. One moment. And let me run that back. So it says, And the righteous of all time cried with a loud voice, saying, How long, O Lord, Adonai, Master, Heavenly One, the Most High, Eli, and the one who is a fact beyond any doubt will be until you pass judgment and bring Satan, Halal, the evil one, reptilian, Nakash, Kianis, in the flesh to judgment and avenge and punish them for shedding our blood, for killing us, those Canaanites who live on planet Earth, and kills the righteous just because they are righteous. And it reads again, and white outer garments were given to each of them, and it was said unto them, rest a little while longer until their fellow servants, and it reads again, and the white garments were given to each of them, and it was said unto them to rest a while longer until their fellow servants also had been killed. And it reads again, and when the white outer garments were given to each of them, and it was said unto them, rest a little while longer until the fellow servants who had been killed. And it reads again, and white robes were given unto every one of them, and it was said unto them that they should rest yet for a little season until their fellow servants also, and their burden that will be killed as they were, should be fulfilled. And then it reads, and wear white robes, outer garments, the garb of the Denair, the righteous ones of the rocketship, were given to each of them as a symbol that they will be with the 24 elders, because they have overcome, and return to Lahat, the rim of El Elo, Anu, Allah, Yahweh, the Most High, Theos. And it was said to the 24 elders, rest a little while soon, a while longer, from the year 1970 AD to the year 2000 AD, until the number of the 44,000 pure souls are raised, until their fellow servants who had been killed, the lost seed of the house of Ishmael, all of these faithful nations of people wore the white robes of the righteous and were willing to sacrifice their lives. And so it reads again, goes into the opening of the sixth seal brought about the earthquake, the darkening of the sun and the moon, and the falling of the stars. And it reads, and I saw when he, the Lamb, the Messiah, Jesus, opened the sixth stamp, and there was a violent earthquake, the great earthquake. The sun became black, and the moon became as blood. And I looked, when he opened the sixth seal stamp, there was a violent earthquake, and the sun became black as sackcloth, hairy, and the moon became as blood. And I, Yukiana Bar Zebedee, saw when he, the Lamb, Yahshua HaMishka, opened the sixth stamp, there was a violent earthquake, the great earthquake. El Shams became black, and the moon became as blood. And it reads, and I beheld when he had opened the sixth seal, and lo, there was a great earthquake, and the sun became black as sackcloth of hair, and the moon became as blood. And I, the newsbearer John, son of Zebedee, looked when the Lamb, the Messiah Jesus, opened the sixth stamp, and it is contained in this seal is made clear from beginning El Sawaf to end El Quran, and there was a violent earthquake. A violent earthquake. The great earthquake of the state of California that is to come, and the many occurring since the one in Turkey on March 29th, 1970 AD, which marked the prophecy of the seventh seal. The sun became black from the solar eclipse on October 3rd, 1986 AD, and the moon became its blood. A lunar eclipse occurs at the anti-solar point on the heavens, precisely opposite the sun, so the moon must be illuminated at 180 degrees angle, being perfectly full, and the moon buries itself fully in Earth's shadow and turns red, not black, except on rare occasions because the planet's sun rises and appears to set, yet retracts their ruddy light into the shadow because the lunar eclipse of October 17, 1986 AD, the most recent lunar eclipse, happened on September 27, 1996 AD, and the next solar eclipse will be in the year 2000 AD. And so, it reads, "And the stars fell from Orion's skies, like figs falling from the unripe tree. And the news bearer John also saw these unripe trees shaken by the mighty wind." And it reads again, "And the stars fell from the heavens first, like figs falling from the tree, unripe when it is shaken by a mighty sword." And it reads again, "And I, John Barzebi, looked when the Lamb, Yahshua HaMashiach, opened the sixth stamp, and there was a violent earthquake, the great earthquake. The sun became black, and the moon became as blood." And it reads again, "And the stars of the heavens fell into the earth. Even a fig tree casts their untimely figs when she is shaken of a mighty wind." And it reads, "The stars, which were the 29 comets cited signaling the opening of the seventh seal in 1970 AD, especially Bennett on March 16th, 1970 AD, and Halley the Comet last seen in 1986 AD, and this is how astronomers logged it. The year 1970 was a record year. There were 29 comets observed, and there were 5 new near parabolic and 2 new periodic comets. The 11 recoverings of the periodic comets and 2 comets from the 1968 and 1969. 4 of these comets were naked eye objects. In 1970 will be remembered of a particular or spectacular, it will be remembered by a spectacular object comet called Bennett 1970. And it reads again, since these sightings of these comets, there had been a steady decline in the world's conditions. And so it reads, in Tycho, Bari, and 15, this is the major comets. In Tycho, Bari, this is 1577, and Bala, 1772, and Niki, 1786, and Donaki, 1856, and Numasan, 1961, and Aquila Sika, 1965, Benin, 1970, Hales Common, 1986. And it reads, this true story of Benin, we arrived in 1970 AD, and they knew little of our natures, and out of their ignorance, called us comets. We shone brightly against the inky blackness of the heavens, leaving long, luminous tails of scores of light years behind us. My light shone the brightest. My light shone the brightest, so they called me Benim, the bright star. I followed my orbit, which curved in a remarkable around the sun to a distance within the range of vision. They charted the passing mark, which is March 16th, 1970 AD, as one of the most spectacular stellar events they had ever seen and witnessed. There were 29 of us all together that year of the opening. In 1970 AD, we had been dispatched into the universe to clean up the filth incurred by men. The 5 of us were new and had been assigned 2 masters as guides, and 11 of our team had been to Earth as a prior date, or at a prior date, as a pre-visual to me. And there were 7 others who had made the journey 2 years before in 1968 AD, and another 8 who had come in 1969 AD, and then there were 1 more. Of the 29 of us, only 4 were destined to be seen by the eyes of man, and the rest would pass unnoticed, carrying out the command and doing a very necessary job. And so, it reads, the Great Comet 1882, or the Great Comet 1882, and then it goes in Tunguska 1908, and then High Itaki 1995, and then it goes into bombs and missiles and large, and it reads, bombs, missiles, and large shells of war such as the Vietnam and Lebanon and Grenada and Iran and Iraq and Bosnia and fell from the Orion skies like figs falling from the unripe tree. And the newsbearer John also saw this unripe tree shooken by a mighty wind, describing a natural disaster such as, hurricanes, cyclones, tidal waves, or tornadoes, and etc. And so it reads, verse 14, and Orion skies rolled up just like a little scroll when it rolled together, and every mountain out of its place. So let me rewind that back. It says the Orion skies rolled up just like a little scroll. Wow. When it rolled together, and every mountain out of its place. And it reads again, and the heavens rolled up just like a book when it is rolled together, and every mountain and island were moved out of its place. And the Shemiami rolled up just like a little scroll when it rolled together, and every mountain out of its place. And it reads again, and the heaven departed as a scroll. And the heaven departed as a scroll when it is rolled together, and every mountain and island were moved out of their places. And the Orion skies rolled up like a little scroll of mine, John son of Zebedee day, which was made of a papyrus roll or a scroll when it rolled up together, and every mountain of it is out of its place, from the smallest of pebbles to the greatest mountains and islands were overturned. And it reads, Then the rulers of the planet Earth, and the great men, and the rich, and the chief captains, and the mighty men, and the slaves, and the free men will try to hide themselves in the dens and in the rocks and the mountains. And it reads again, And then the kings of the earth, and the great men, and the rich, and the chief captains, and the mighty men, and the slaves, and the free men will try to hide themselves in the dens and the rocks of mountains. And it reads, And then the Malachi of the planet Earth, the Gilgaborn, the rich, the chief captains, the mighty men, the slaves, and the free men will try to hide themselves in the dens and in the rocks of the mountains. And it reads, And then the kings of the earth, and the great men, and the rich men, and the chief captains, and the mighty men, and every bondman, and every free man hide themselves in the dens and in the rocks of the mountains. And then it reads again, Then the rulers of the planet Earth, and the great men, and the rich, and the chief captains, and the mighty men, and all the popes, and ambassadors, and presidents, and governors, and prime ministers, etc., and the slaves who work for them, and the free men who will try to hide themselves in their homes and in the rocks of the mountains, called apartment buildings or complexes. And men have spent billions of dollars each year in researching methods of survival through what may result in a nuclear holocaust. And he has constructed underground cities, not to be mistaken with Shambhala or Hikata, the cities beneath the earth that was formed by the west wind of Nibiru, which tore into the center of the planet Earth, which at that time was called Temet, exploded and made a hollow space in the center of the Temet. And the west wind became a 600-mile diaphragm sun called Epsom, and was trapped in the place there and sustains the life of the inner world. And so it reads again, And these underground cities are constructed as a special wartime shelters, and then complete with 3-story buildings, streets, and lakes, and computers, etc., located 40 miles west of the White House, under the foothill, or the Appalachian foothill called the Mount Weather, and was located at Fort Ritchie, MD, in Colorado Springs and Mahoma. And then it reads again, The day of Theos' wrath has come upon all those who have rebelled against him. And it goes into verse 16. And the great man of the world said to the mountains and rocks, Fall on us and hide us from the face of the angels that is sitting on the seat of Theos' throne, and from the wrath of Christos, the Lamb. And it reads again, And they said to the mountain and rock, Fall on us and hide us from the face of him that is seating on the seat, and from the wrath of the Lamb. And it goes and say it again, And the great man of this world said unto the mountains and rocks, Fall on us and hide us from the face of the Malachi, who this is sitting on the seat of Yahweh of the Elohim's throne, and from the wrath of Yahshua HaMishka, the Lamb. And it reads again, and it says, And said to the mountains and rocks, Fall on us and hide us from the face of him that sitteth on the throne, and from the wrath of the Lamb. And it reads again, And the great men of the world said to the mountains and the rocks, fall on us and hide us. And it goes and it says, men will hope to hide from Eli, but this will be impossible. Men will hope to hide from Eli, but this will be impossible from the face of him. Malachi Zordak, the leader of the dentities, supreme entity that is sitting on the seat of the throne, and from the wrath of the Lamb, the Messiah Jesus, known in ancient times as Tammuz. And it reads again, and the great day, if Theos' wrath has come, who will be able to stand against it? And it reads again, and the great day of his wrath has come, and which one of you can stand against it? And it says again, and the great day of Yahweh's wrath has come. Who will be able to stand against it? Question. And it reads again, and for the great day of this wrath has come, and who shall be able to stand it? Question. The great day, the end of the world, the great day, the end of the world of his wrath has come. The end of the world, and which of you can stand against it? No one can stop it. Alright, now, so that right there is the end of that chapter. So I'm going to leave it at that for now. If you do want to read this yourself, I'll be posting it on my channel. And it's already in, the link in my channel too as well. For our Master Teacher's books, if you are interested, it's also in the link, and you'll get all the books and things like that, so you can get on this good journey with them. If you are interested, just comment in the chat. Alright, now, so for now, I'm going to leave it at that. Again, know that you are loved beyond this world. I hope you know. Begin to spread the love one to another and be the peace that you seek. Release our Master Teacher, Dr. Malachi Injiyl. I love you. Peace. Shalom. Hashtag divine love. And